Hi and welcome to my channel. So the UK government is at it again because they are increasingly refusing visas from dependents, and these dependents mainly include children, kids and babies. So this is something that is very disheartening, and so I'm doing this video to give you an update as to what's happening with dependent visas, so that you're aware if you're currently in the UK as a dependent, or if you're planning to move to the UK or bringing your dependents to the UK, whatever your situation is, because this is what is going on. Also, we're going to talk about some of the requirements that you can include to make sure that the Home Office has no grounds whatsoever to refuse your visa application. And even if they do, then your appeal is highly likely to be successful. So if you're new to my channel, obviously you're welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, I appreciate your time. I do hope that you're finding these helpful, but most importantly, you are implementing this and putting it into practice. So I want you to leave a comment in the comment section below. What is your situation right now? Are you already in the UK? Are you still out of this country? What are your circumstances? Are you on a dependent visa? Have you got any dependents? Are you applying for jobs? Have you got a job? What is the situation? Just leave that in the comment section below and I'll be able to join you there, answer any questions, give any suggestions, and just like interact really with you. So if you haven't joined this family, take this opportunity now to hit the subscribe button so you're the first person to be notified every single day when I drop a new video on here. Because when it comes to the dependent visa, it can be a very stressful thing, because if you're already in the UK, you know, especially when it comes to kids, being away from kids is very hard for us as parents. And so I can only empathize with those colleagues that are leaving their kids, you know, miles and miles away to come to this country and work, and yet find challenges reuniting with their amazing families and kids. So I also have a free newsletter. I've dropped the link in the comment section below, where I share information about free visa sponsorship opportunities to move to this amazing country, you know, the UK, as well as switch your visa if you're already here, say on a student visa, you're on a care visa, you're on a skilled worker visa, but you need another employer with visa sponsorship. Also, career progression opportunities is what I'm really passionate about, because I started my own UK journey as well, working as a carer in a nursing home before I studied nursing. You know, I've gone on to do 2 apprenticeships at master's level, and I now work as an advanced nurse practitioner for the NHS, which is the most senior clinical nursing, you know, job that there is in the profession. So I've had my own fair share of UK visas and all of that before now getting my UK citizenship. So I really do empathize with those of you colleagues that are still applying for visas and, you know, going through that really difficult process. So it won't take you 20 seconds to join my newsletter. Once you join, then I send that info directly to your inbox as and when it becomes available. Also, you're going to find my contact details on there. There's my WhatsApp number, my email address. Do reach out. You know, if there's anything private and personal that you're thinking, oh my God, Melvis says XYZ, I just cannot put it here on YouTube, but I need to reach out to yourself, you know, then obviously feel free to do that. Otherwise, just drop any comments, queries, you know, questions, concerns, thoughts, ideas in the comment section. So what is really going on? Yes, children are being refused dependent visas. So it's something that is a trend that has been increasing over the time. I remember not long ago there was a famous case about 2 professors at Oxford University that applied for dependent visas and they were refused from their kids, and there was a massive outcry in the UK, you know, to kind of, and people, colleagues, just saying, look, this is unacceptable behavior. How could you refuse these 2 ladies from reuniting with their kids in the UK, yet they're in this country working permanently? It's not acceptable. And so recently, there's been another lady who is also an academic and a scholar at the University of Bristol, and this is currently ongoing, and everybody has literally come out to condemn the government's idea and reason for refusing her 6-year-old daughter in Kenya a UK dependent visa. You know, the 6-year-old, a letter was sent to her addressed to the baby to say that, you know, they had refused her reuniting with her mom in the UK, and she basically had no reason and no compassionate grounds, you know, to be with her mom. Like, what a heartbreaking thing for an adult to talk like a 6-year-old child. So again, these high profile people have the platform and the support behind them to speak up. But what about basic and ordinary people like you and I that are being refused visas, and we don't have the voice to come out in public and get the public opinion and public support behind us in order to get those visas? It's very, very challenging. So what should you do if you're applying for dependent visas? You want to make sure that you're eliminating any chances of refusal. What should you be doing? And by the way, I do have a private career coaching program where I offer personalized guidance with free visa sponsorship jobs, career progression in the UK, nursing opportunities. You're a carer, you want those carer jobs, you want to progress, you're looking for those apprenticeships where you will be sponsored, to study without paying any tuition fees. If you check the description box below or the about section of this channel, you're going to find a link to join my private coaching program. Once you do, then you get a tailored, individualized guidance, CV, what's the best job? How do you proceed? NHS jobs, what about the interview questions? What can you expect? How do you position yourself such that you're the best candidate for that opportunity, so that you don't spend months and years trying to get visa sponsorship in the UK? Not only that, but if you're already in this country, career progression is a must, because these visa fees that we're talking about are ridiculously high, and it is not worth you being here without embracing the amazing opportunities that this country brings. If you're just scrounging and kind of scratching the surface when it comes to opportunities, you're missing out, because the bills, rent, everything is so high. And so you need to be enhancing your skills, your knowledge, and your, everything really, in order to earn more, work less, and spend more time with your family and your kids. Because life is not just all about working, extra hours, extra shifts, agency. No, you need to relax, spend time with your family, and just chill out before you go back to work. So that's what the program is all about. By the way, if you're watching this and you're enjoying this content, do share with your friends, colleagues, loved ones, so that they're aware of these opportunities that exist and they're also aware of these changes. So what should you therefore do if you find yourself in that situation, applying for dependent visas? The truth about the matter is, don't leave any stone unturned. I always say, if there's any document that you're thinking, is this document needed or not, add it to the application. There's no harm. You can even put photos, you can even add christening, holidays, relative. Look, add anything that you have that is showing any sort of relationship or bond or anything whatsoever with the dependent that you're applying for. So apart from the normal birth certificate, which is pretty obvious, you can also just add photos. It's acceptable. You can add, party invitation, just anything, your address. There's quite a lot that you have in common if somebody's your dependent. So again, because it's not only about the money that you need to pay for the application, but it is the stress that comes with appealing that process. Once you've been denied a visa, once they've said no, it's incredibly stressful. And if you're already here working, you're employed, you're far away from the kids, it's going to affect the quality of your work here, the quality of your life, and that's going to lead to other issues as well, which you really, really don't want those issues. Because if your job is affected, the visa and the being in this country for the whole family can be in jeopardy, which is something that isn't good. So if it's your spouse, for example, obviously you've got that marriage certificate, and if you haven't changed your name, it doesn't matter, because I know that many people are very worried, about, oh, I haven't changed my name isn't the same with the kids, it isn't the same with my husband, are they going to give us a visa? Yes, they will give a visa, because you're not legally expected to have the same name as your kids or your husband or your wife. It's not a legal requirement. In some countries, when you get married, they automatically give the woman the husband's name, which, by the way, I think is a ridiculous idea. But in the UK, there's that freedom, to be who you choose to be, luckily. And so, if you have your name different from your husband's name or your kid's name, it's absolutely fine and normal. All you need to do is present your marriage certificate, present any announcements that have been made, present the person's documents, present yours. If you've got the kids' birth certificates, for example, that show both of your names, then that's fine. If you've got any tenancy agreements, that's fine. You own any assets together, land, a house, anything. Again, that's that evidence that you are in a relationship and that you are you have that closeness towards each other, even if it's personal possessions like photos as well, holidays, it doesn't matter. You can present all of that evidence, and yes, they do consider it. So Yes, this is something that has been increasing. I know, many people in the UK that have had their dependent visas refused for no reason whatsoever, and these people have gone through a very stressful, time-consuming, and expensive process to appeal, which for some eventually they do grant the offer, but for others it's just very heartbreaking. So it is a shame, it is definitely a shame, but you just need to be aware of this. Check the government website thoroughly, make sure that you're checking all the requirements at the end of your visa application, because when you apply for that UK visa, at the end of it, they're going to say to you, you need to present XYZ documents. So make a list of that and do ensure that you tick all of the boxes. And if you've got any extra documents that aren't mentioned there, but that you think, can I add this, can I not, I'll say put the documents there, because again, there's no harm adding extra documents to the ones that have been requested. So I really do hope that if you're currently applying for visas, this is not an alarm. This is just to say that you should be more cautious, because majority of people have their visas, dependent visas, without any problems. But you're gonna have a few people that will get that refusal. So it's just to make sure that everything is packaged properly, just to avoid any chances of that, because of the stress it brings obviously to the family. And obviously you need to make sure that if you've got kids that are adopted, you can also bring them to the UK, but you need to have the adopted documents. So for example, if you've got step kids, you can't just bring them and say, oh, this is my stepson, stepdaughter. It doesn't work that way. You need to have legal documents that are showing that parental responsibility that you have towards those kids, in order for you to bring them. So again, you need to make sure that depending on your circumstance, because we've got mixed families, kids from previous marriages now in a current marriage, so those are not very straightforward situations. So just make sure that if your situation is a little bit complex or not very straightforward, that you're able to justify the type of family situation that you have, the type of relationship that you have, in order to get that visa. It doesn't mean that if you have stepkids, for example, they can't get a visa. That's not what it means. But it just means that you need to have the right evidence and documentation to prove that relationship, and again, that parental responsibility towards those kids. That's really what matters. So again, if you've enjoyed this content, by the way, I want you to hit that like button. It lets me know you enjoy content like this and I should do more. If there's anything that you're concerned about, you want to have more information about that, do leave that in the comment section below and I'll be able to share more info. Again, share this video with your friends, colleagues, loved ones, so they're aware of some of these happenings in the UK. We share latest UK updates, opportunities on here. And if you need that tailored, personalized, individualized guidance with your UK journey, getting jobs, career progression opportunities, side hustle ideas, work from home jobs, then consider joining my private coaching program, which I've dropped a link in the description box below or the about section of this channel, and then I can support you with that so you can succeed and excel. Watch this other video I've linked up specially for you.